Kuzamfo, welcome to Bhutan This Week, our weekly news magazine program. My name is Wupkem. In our top stories this week, Bhutan to start billing for the power export from Mangdechu project. A pilot project to eradicate stomach cancer in the country launched. And Tagana dreams big on the tourism flagship program. Now the news in detail. Upon the official inauguration of the Mangdechu hydropower project on Saturday, the project is expected to make gross revenue of about 12 billion yutam annually. This was revealed during the signing of the power purchase agreement between the Druk Green Power Corporation and the Power Trading Corporation of India in Thimphu.
Thank you so much.
Speaking at the signing of the power purchase agreement, the Economic Affairs Minister Loknath Sharma said the much talked about Mangdechu hydropower project is finally commissioned.
By today I can say it's successfully commissioned because the one unit which we had some issues will be done tomorrow. So therefore it's successfully commissioned, and by now we already exported around 550 megawatt. So we are already there. And tomorrow will be the last unit and the last day to make sure that all 4 units are commissioned.
Exporting approximately 3,000 million units of electricity at the cost of 4.12 Newton per unit is anticipated to bring in gross revenue of 12 billion Newton per annum.
So therefore, exactly what we are earning today in gross revenues from all the business that DGPC does, exactly that amount will come from India, from the sale of electricity to India from Mangdechu. So we expect that the gross revenues to start off will be about 12 billion.
With the official signing of the power purchase agreement today, Druk Green Power Corporation can now start billing the Government of India for the export of electricity from Mangdechu hydropower project. Without the power purchase agreement, bills cannot be raised, neither can the payments be made between the two sides. Currently, Bhutan generates about 7,000 million units of power from the existing hydropower projects, of which about 5,000 million units is exported to India. Mangdechu hydropower project will be officially inaugurated on Saturday by the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The work on the 720 megawatt Mangdechu project began in 2011. This is Pasandoji for BBS News.
Bhutan will have 3 Panoptis telescopes installed and operational by the end of the year. These telescopes will help to detect transiting exoplanets. This is a citizen science project to encourage the use of technology in scientific space exploration. A group of astronomers are installing the telescopes in the country.
The team has already installed one of the telescopes at the Royal Academy in Pambesa in Borough. The installation and operation of the Panoptis were carried out in collaboration with the students. The other 2 telescopes will be installed in a school and college once the locations have been finalized.
Basically, the Panoptis unit will be used to observe the night sky and try to find exoplanets. Planets which are not within our solar system.
Space program in Bhutan started some 3 years ago with 3 students going to Japan to study satellite engineering and designing a CubeSat, which was launched last year. This satellite, Bhutan 1, is Bhutan's first satellite. The space program is a direct result of His Majesty's personal passion and interest to pursue technology for the benefit of Bhutanese society.
The whole country that is going through this transformation. So I would just like to mention here that this is all possible because of the strong and visionary leadership of His Majesty the King, and because technology is inevitable in today's world. So because we have not experienced the development of a satellite before in Bhutan, so it was really important for us to get exposure and learn about the processes of satellite development.
The telescope installations are part of this initiative to strengthen Bhutan's space program by inspiring children to take an interest in space. So with this project, Bhutan will take another leap in the field of technology and space exploration. For Kinjang Tharun, Sonmongdi, PBS News.
Now, despite repeated notifications, the Labour Ministry has found that private enterprises and firms have not updated their PF scheme accounts. This means that they have failed to participate in the Provident Fund scheme. The Department of Labour, in its latest notification, has stated that it will strictly monitor and penalise those not participating in the PF scheme as per the Labour and Employment Act 2007.
As of June this year, there are over 65,000 members joining the PF scheme, an increase by almost 1,000 from last year. However, from this, not all are active members. Nearly 25,000 were found to be inactive. That means they have failed to deposit the monthly PF deductions of the employees with the Royal Insurance Corporation of Bhutan and Bhutan Insurance Limited.
I think one thing is that some of them are closed down completely. But some of them, I think, what they do is they collect from the employees, but they do not deposit in the RSCB or BIL. We found out that in some of the enterprises,
Section 99 of the Labour and Employment Act states that an employee is entitled to gratuity and provident fund upon retirement from the service.
As per our Labour and Employment Act, it says that all the private those who have worked more than 1 year in the same place with the same work, they have to be deemed as employed. So, as per that our act, they have to get the benefit, and then the benefits are like such like provident fund, gratuity, then leave, like casual leave, maternity leave, and then whatever the benefit the company is providing.
Those small, medium and large enterprises certified by the Economic Affairs Ministry fall under the PF scheme. And all enterprises employing 5 or more employees must comply with PF scheme. There are over 90,000 employees working in the private sector as per the Population and Housing Census 2017. Sunampem for BBS News.
Gastric or stomach cancer is one of the leading cancers in Bhutan, and most of it are detected late, which translates to increased risk of cancer deaths. So to reduce the incidence and mortality of gastric cancer in the country, a pilot project on eradication of stomach cancer will be implemented from October this year to September 2022.
The pilot project will be implemented at Dawaka BHU catchment areas in Ha, as it has reported high stomach cancer rate in Bhutan. The findings from this project will be used to guide and support development of National Gastric Cancer Control Program and roll out nationwide program to reduce incidence and mortality of gastric cancer. As per the record maintained with the Jimmy Doji Wanchu National Referral Hospital in Thimphu, annually 24 per 100,000 new gastric cases are detected in the country. It causes the highest mortality amongst all cancers with 12 deaths per 100,000.
So how we are going to change that situation is by early detection, early screening. So by early screening and treatment of H. pylori bacteria, which is known to be the major cause of the stomach cancer, we prevent the cancer. Secondly, by screening H. pylori and doing endoscopy, we detect the gastric cancer early on. If it is detected early, we can cure most of the stomach cancers.
Helicobacter pylori or H. pylori is commonly transmitted person to person by saliva. The bacteria can also be spread by fecal contamination or water or food.
Outside this infection, we see there will be some cancer caused by other reasons like alcohol, smoking, or some chemicals, exposure to chemicals. But major proportion of the cancer is caused by H. pylori infection.
Dr. Sitar Doji added, as part of the project, 8 medical doctors are being trained to conduct advanced endoscopy to detect early gastric cancer. The project is also exploring fund to procure latest and high-end endoscopy machine that can improve the detection rate of early gastric cancer. The Gesagepo University of Medical Sciences, along with the Health Ministry, the National Referral Hospital, and Zero Helicobacter IgAN Network of Japan initiated the project. Pema Saldun Singh, BBS News.
The Bhutan Center for Media and Democracy introduced a new signed media literacy resource book in Dzongkha and Braille in Paro recently. This is to enable non-English speaking sections of the society and physically challenged people to develop critical thinking and judge information and news against a backdrop of the rising fake news and misinformation.
The resource book will help its users recognize bias, misinformation, and lies fed through various forms of media. They will be able to understand the complex messages often provided through this platform.
In this resource book, we use a lot of local case studies. For instance, not accepting friend requests from people that you don't know. And a year or so back, it came out in the newspaper, right, when a girl and a boy met over social media. Two of them decided to meet, and then in the end, the girl lost her life, right? So I think we really need to teach our youth and even adults to be more cautious and to be more savvy in terms of using media.
She said, considering the importance as well as the threat of social media and news in a democratic society, it is important to bring every citizen on board and take media literacy to the unreached.
We realize that in a democracy, we need to be inclusive. We need to bring everybody on board. There are people who are who live with disabilities, right? They have different abilities. So we need to make all information accessible to all citizens, regardless of their abilities or disabilities. So the fact that we produced and launched news and media literacy in Braille and Dzongkha is to bring all citizens on board when it comes to media literacy. Because I think that's the way to building a democracy that is more equitable and inclusive.
The resource book in Dzongkha, titled Mikhung Shen, will be distributed to remote communities Rabde and Shedra, while the Braille media literacy will be sent out to schools and institutes for the visually impaired. Pema Saldun Singh, BBS News.
Now, since it began making payments to civil servants from July, the Electronic Public Expenditure Management System EPEMS is facing technical issues in deducting loans and remittances. From July till last week, the system met failed transactions relating to loan deductions amounting to 10 million yutam. This amount is currently being held at temporary account with the Bank of Bhutan. These accounts officials from various agencies came to Department of Public Accounts Office to solve the issues they are facing with regard to payment and loan deduction of civil servants. The department said there was an incident where accounts officials' typing error resulted in excess payment to a doctor. There are also reported cases of dispersing payments without deducting loan payments.
We have also looked at what are the some of the reasons for rejections. So majority are invalid account number, wrong account number, mismatch of account number. Some provided loan account number, some provided savings account number.
He said EPEMS is primarily developed to make payments and not designed to manage deductions. Managing deductions through the EPEMS would lead to delays in loan remittances, which could further lead to penalties and charges. Also, the department says too many deductions could pose risk to the system performance. Hence, the department is proposing civil servants to go for other alternatives to manage their deductions.
To ensure that our loan deductions are made timely and remitted timely, we are also proposing to have an option to encourage our employees to use as much as possible the banking app, the mobile app, to make such payments. And we are from August, we are planning to link all these deductions to their individual savings account. So from our side, from ePayMs, the salary will be disbursed to their savings account, and from the savings account, they will be linked to their individual deductions.
The electronic public expenditure management system made over 12,000 transactions worth 2.7 billion ngutum from July till Wednesday. The transactions include payments made to civil servants, suppliers, vendors, contractors and other payments. Finance Ministry and Royal Monetary Authority launched ePayMs last month to enhance public finance management and promote cashless payments. Pupkem for BBS News. Now, people of Dagana are pinning their hopes on the government's tourism flagship program to change the poor tourism prospects in the district for the better. Various activities to promote tourism have already been planned for the district's allocated budget of almost 12 million ngutum under the program.
Tourists visiting Dagana is as good as being unheard. According to the Dzongkhag administration in 2018, except for around 5 tourists who were in the district officially, there is no record of other tourist arrival. It is believed that poor route network and lack of tourist standard hotels are some of the factors discouraging tourists from visiting Dagana. Today, there are only 3 hotels in Daga town providing lodging facility. However, with the financial assistance provided through the flagship program, things are expected to change. Dagana, as officials claim, has adequate tourist attractions such as historical sites, rich biodiversity, trekking routes and scenic landscapes, among others.
Population and Housing Census 2017 reported the poorest Songkhokpe.
According to the Population and Housing Census 2017, Dagana Dzongkhag is rated among the poorest districts. Now, with the flagship program, we are optimistic of coming out of this status.
Through the flagship program, the Dzongkhag administration will look at improving the hospitality standards and services and opening homestays as well. Tourism-related startups will also be encouraged and agro-tourism opportunities explored.
If the tourism flagship program is successful, it will benefit the district immensely. But even if it does not go as expected, we can reap the benefits of the developments the program has brought in. It will also help create employment opportunities, thereby increasing the income generating scope.
While the Dzongkhag administration will execute the projects for its effective and swift implementation, the Tourism Council will depute an official to the district as well. For now, the administration is waiting for an official directive from the council to kick-start the much-anticipated activities which are expected to turn the wheel of tourism development in Dagana. This is Namgye Wangchuk for BBS News. Dagana.
Now, most farmers in Bumta say there is a need for an auction yard in the district. Transporting potatoes to Phinsaling is especially difficult for them as the district is located furthest from the country's biggest potato auction center. It takes at least 2 days to reach their annual harvest to Phinsaling.
Like in most potato-growing districts, it is harvest season in Bumthang. Most farmers have almost finished harvesting their crop, while others have started transporting them to Phinsaling. The harvest comes after a 5-month-long grueling battle against pests, unpredictable weather, and marauding wild boars. Though electric fences have helped people in protecting their crops, many farmers still have to guard their crops in huts at night. After the harvesting period is over, farmers have to ready their yields to be transported to Phinsaling. It costs more than 20,000 ngitam for farmers in Bhutan to take a truckload of potatoes to Phinseling. Transporting of the harvest to Phinseling and auctioning them usually takes more than a week. This, according to the farmers, is a very lengthy and tiresome process.
We would be grateful if an auction yard is set up in Bumthang. Without an auction yard nearby, commercial potato farming is especially very difficult for us as we have to take our harvest to Phinseling. We face difficulties finding a vehicle to transport our potatoes, and sometimes we come across roadblocks and it would take at least 3 days before we reach Phinseling. This makes the potatoes rot. After the auction is done, then we will have to wait for a few more days to get our cash. It is difficult for us to book lodges and stay when we carry limited pocket money.
From about 8 households who usually cultivate potatoes in my village, due to wild boar attacks on our crops, lack of a nearby auction yard and other associated harvesting and transportation issues, only 2 households have cultivated the crop this year. It is difficult when we have to hire a truck. Other factors such as the tubers getting rotten during unfavorable weather conditions also discourages farmers to continue cultivating the crop.
However, Food Corporation of Bhutan, or FCB's Chief Executive Officer Nitin Ongchuk said farmers in Bhutan preferred bringing potatoes to Phinseling than having an auction facility in Bhutan during a consultation meeting last year.
We met with the farmers in Bumthang last year and talked about installation of a grading machine and a construction of a warehouse with them. However, they said they have to anyhow go to Phinseling once every winter to buy ration, and also said that potatoes fetch better price in Phinseling. That's why we couldn't execute our plans.
However, farmers say it would be only a few sections of the farming population who would prefer going to Phinseling for the auction. To this, the FCB CEO said there are possibilities of introducing online auctioning system from various potato growing districts in the future, which is less cost intensive. Building a potato auction facility with a warehouse and grading machine cost about 25 million ngitam.
What we could have is, unlike the conventional auctioning system, we could have the warehouse and we can have the grading machines installed and come up with the online auctioning system where people do not have to be physically present. That would require the support from the central government and as well as from the local government. And from FCBL side also, we will put all our efforts to have such kind of system in place.
Farmers also said some political candidates in the past also promised to build such a facility in Bhutan, which never got materialized. And there is no money allocated for it in Bhutan's current 5-year plan budget. Kipchu, BVS News, Bhutan.
More than 50% of the population is young people in Bhutan, and it is time we recognize and appreciate their efforts in making communities better. Looking at the endurance and achievements of some of the Bhutanese youth, it not just assures a bright future for the country, but also gives a sense of pride and appreciation. Coinciding with the International Youth Day, the National Young Achievers Award 2019 was organized in Thimphu.
Bahadur is the leader and the founder of the community group called the
7 different awards were presented to 7 youth and youth groups. These young achievers have proved themselves of all the praises and recognition rightfully deserving every award. Achievements of these Bhutanese youths have proved that they are not just at par with any other youth around the world, but some far more superior. From social services in their communities to developing an app to robotics, arts, entertainment, they have left no stones unturned. The day was mainly focused on recognizing the outstanding individuals who have put tireless effort in the development of communities and youth.
So during my leisure time, I used to think to do something for the community. So in 2014, I've started a youth-led group known as Bhutan Sharing and Loving Youth. So there I started to volunteer for the noble cause. And today when I received this award, actually I have never expected of such kind of award, because as a volunteer we never expect anything. But it was a surprise for me, and I'm really happy.
I'm very privileged and honored to be nominated as one of the achievers, national young achievers in the category Young Changemaker itself is a great honor, sir. And I'm very happy and privileged to receive this prestigious award. I promise that I'll do my best in everything I do in my life.
The event also saw entertainment programs and information sharing sessions. According to a youth-based group, Youth Caring Community, such event brings social heroes to the limelight and recognizes unheard and uncelebrated individuals. It also encourages young individuals to take initiatives and social responsibilities and motivate and inspire young Bhutanese at large. Komal Kharka, BBS News.
Now that brings us to the end of this week's bulletin. Thank you so much for your time.